Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Witness the Future, a show we try to get things right the second time. In today's episode, we're going to be going over a premiere draft, a best of one draft, where one of our AGL members, Lanta, ended up going 4-3. They said that there was all kinds of great decisions along the way, so we're going to go over some of those, and we'll dive into it now. Opening up pack one, pick one, we see we've got a couple of options here at the rare slot, whether that's a rare land if we want to stay in green-white. Of course, the ill-timed explosion as an opportunity for card selection and a board wipe, or just card advantage. Great option there. But also 10th District Hero, which is a great card. Pack 1, pick 2, going along with our 10th District Hero. I do see an Auspicious Arrival. I also see something like Blood Splatter Analysis if we want to go completely out of left field. But Fuss Bother here being a base white card, that works great if we end up being aggro white, or Bother, of course, being great if we're more of a controlling white. Pack 1, pick 3. I see it connecting the dots here, and I've been pretty low on that card. I think this is something that I would be happier to have wheeled. And so if this is our same pick in like pick 10 or 11 and we're getting a connect the dots, I'm in. But for now, I think I would probably prefer to, if we want to see all these red cards and stick with the red cards, I think Innocent Bystander has been overperforming. I think Harry Dronesmith works particularly well. Pack 1, pick 4. We do see a Gadget Technician, but a lot of these other cards are very much in the vein of something we're not that interested in doing, whereas On the Job gives you a little bit of fuss redundancy, and even though we have only one creature, we're planning on picking up quite a bit more. So we're going on the white, go wide aggro plan, and I can definitely get on that. Pack 1, pick 5. Oof, not a good pack for us. I think the best card here is either Insidious Roots or Cold Case Cracker, but in either case, that's not really what we want to be doing here. I could see the Cold Case Cracker being the correct pick here and then sort of shifting away from red because this connecting the dots is, again, not something I'm like heavily invested in right now. And I'd be happy to go like white-blue detectives that eventually like go big with On the Job and Fuss or Bother. Like both of those are great. Pack 1, pick 6. Man, not a whole lot here. We're going down the Gadget Technician route because it's the only card that can be played in mono white or mono red. There's something to be said about a public thoroughfare. Like, we have at least one artifact, and maybe we can make a couple more so that way we don't have to tap a land for this thing. And maybe we want to pick something like that up. Pack 1, pick 7. Still not really doing it for us, huh? Got a couple of these black cards. Fester Leech obviously goes well in that Insidious Roots style deck. These other cards are fine. Defendant Straight of Phantom I've been pretty down on. Even Hotshot Investigators I'm pretty down on. I don't love this card, but it is a detective. We are kind of getting into that blue strategy. I would have really preferred the Cold Case Cracker over the Concealed Weapon, but of course that's all in hindsight now. Pack 1, pick 8. All right, things are starting to come around. We've decided that blue is open and I can get behind it. Surveillance Monitor is a perfectly reasonable card. I don't hate that at all. Could always pick up a Cease Desist, I suppose, but yeah, I've been pretty low on this one overall. I don't really love it. It is perfectly fine in the Roots deck, so, if we were going down that road, it looks like that was an available option for us here, but again, we're very much not, so Surveillance Monitor, great pickup. Pack 1, pick 9 on the wheel. We were hoping for this Granite Witness to wheel, but we were not expecting this ill-timed explosion to wheel, and we happen to be maybe in a little blue-red mess right now, right? We have an On the Job and a 10th District Hero, but everything else is kind of blue-red cards, so maybe blue-red is it. Unfortunately, the orangutan didn't come back, which means that somebody's in red X that's not blue-red, but ill-timed explosion, great wheel, great pickup. Pack 1, pick 10. We pick up a Curious Cadaver, which I think is fine. We're not really in black, but maybe we just don't know what we are. Maybe we're moving into Grixis and not Jeskai or something like that. But I think this is a great pickup for this public thoroughfare. We're pretty solidly 3 colors right now, and I don't know if we want to be 3 colors, but there's a chance that we will be, and you want some of these in that style of decks. Pack 1, pick 11. I was considering Bubble Smuggler in the last pick. We're getting one here. I think that's great. We do want something like that. Overall, we don't really want to play it, but if it comes down to it, this is a perfectly reasonable card. Notably, as we pick up the missing cards, all 4, even 5th of the red cards are missing, so I don't know if red's going to be majorly our colors, but Bubble Smuggler, perfectly fine. Pick 11.
Pick 12, we do get the Snarling Gorehound. I don't think we're playing it, but, it goes well. And then in Agency Coroner, I'm not really playing this card either. Pack 2, pick 1. We open up a Mythic, and it's a good one. Alcus Proft. I think this idea that he, casts Sphinx's Revelation for you is pretty far-fetched. You're not really doing that ever very often, but what you are doing is you're getting a 3/3, 4/3. That gives you a clue and has Vigilance, and then maybe if you end up having that clue later in the game, then you end up getting quite a bit of value. But a lot of value just wrapped up in Alquist Proft. Great pickup. Great pick. I think this is awesome. Pack 2, pick 2. We've got some fixing here, which is great, and a lot of black red, black white, black blue. I don't mind this Person of Interest if we're still sort of going down that red route, but tough to, after you pick up the Alquist Prof, not to pick up this meticulous archive. I think it's a great pickup. Pack 2, pick 3. I see a Flotsam Jetsam, which I've been pretty happy with in the long game strategies. I do see another Surveillance Monitor, and those get better in multiples. We do have a Granite Witness, which is fine. Hopefully that one kind of wheels on us. Out Cold, I've been pretty happy with, but that's more of like an aggressive strategy. So if we were going blue-white detectives, which is definitely a possibility if we had that Cold Case Cracker and a couple of other things, maybe we're taking an Out Cold here. We take the Escape Tunnel, I think, because Lotta is looking for to make sure the fixing is there. I think if we would have prioritized the Public Thoroughfare over the Curious Cadaver, I think that allows you to take this Surveillance Monitor here. Pack 2, pick 4. A case of the Pilfered Proof is a good thing to note. So that way, if we ended in that blue-white detective shell kind of overall, I see this could have been helpful for us, particularly because we've got a couple of things that make tokens like this Surveillance Monitor. So maybe we could have ended up, getting some clue tokens out of that. I also really like Red Herring, but I think that we're probably going away from that sort of aggressive strategy plan. Behind the Mask just isn't really doing it for me. It's a fine collect evidence, so that way you get another trigger off the Surveillance Monitor, and maybe you can kill something in combat. But I also, acknowledge the fact that there really isn't anything in our pack here for us. I might see a Demand Answers as something we want to be doing, but if we're trying to get out of red altogether, other than maybe this one splash, I can see maybe going with this Behind the Mask. Pack 2, pick 5. We were just talking about getting out of red, but Detective Satchel is a great pickup for us. I think if we're going long range, we're making Thopters, we're, sacrificing clues, we're just kind of going beaters in the air. I think this is great. Pack 2, pick 6. If you got one, you want multiple. I mean, you want 10 of these things if you can play them, much like the Surveillance Monitors. They are slow, so we're going to need something to sort of slow things down. But hopefully some of our rares really can help us do that, clog up the board with things like the Gadget Technician, and then we'd end up maybe wiping the board early with Ill-Timed Explosion, then going late with this Detective Satchel. Pack 2, pick 7. We see another case of the Burning Mask. This one's a really late one. I would have preferred this if we already had our other case of the Burning Mask, which is fine. I also see Call of Surprise Witness, which kind of gets you back some of your rares. I'd get behind this maybe. It's really good with getting back either your 10th District Hero or your Alquist Prof, so get behind that. But case of the Burning Mask looks good. We just need more fixing than, having a Public Thoroughfare rather than this Curious Cadaver, I think is probably what you were looking for. Pack 2, pick 8. Don't really love any of these cards. Bubble Smuggler is fine pickup. You could take a Undercover Crocodile, for the morph. Had we had a Public Thoroughfare, then I feel even more confident because it just makes more clues for your Detective Satchels. But Bubble Smuggler is fine with where we sit right now. Pack 2, pick 9 on the wheel. We do get our Public Thoroughfare back, which is great. I think this is the exact kind of card that we're looking for, so get that in here. Pack 2, pick 10. I don't know. I think both these cards are fine. I don't really want to play either of them, but kind of as I mentioned a couple picks ago, I think you do want the Crocodile over the Fairy Snoop, mainly just because it helps add in some extra clues, and it's a big body, which you don't really have much of. Got this 6-drop on Hotshot Investigators, but having a bigger body also can really stem the bleeding at some point. Pack 2, pick 11. We see a couple cards that are just for us. This Officious Interrogation is a long game plan, and I can kind of get behind that, but having a second Surveillance Monitor is awesome. We do kind of want a Harry Dronesmith at some point because it plays so well with these satchels, but, Beggar Scampy Choosers Surveillance Monitor is great. Pack 2, pick 12. We see a Candlestick. Fine. It can come in the deck. And pack 2, pick 13, Jaded Analyst. Oh, man, wow. We want as many of these as we can get. We want as many of those as we can get. So picking between them is wild. We did see Detective Satchel in picks 5 and 6 in the last pack, so there's a good possibility that this one wheels. There's no way 10th District Hero wheels. So I love taking the 10th District Hero here. I think seeing if we can get the Detective Satchel is great. Notably, we also see another detective over there that we maybe could have wheeled if we were in that white-blue detectives. Prof's Eidetic Memory works very well with the satchels and the Prof and a couple of other things we've got going on here. I think that this is a card I'm not usually too interested in, but I think in this deck it may be the card. I think that's great. Pack 3, pick 3. Killer Among Us is great, but a Galvanize works very well for us. I've been a little bit lower on this one. It's not as exciting as I originally thought. I mean, this card was supposed to be super busted, and now it's fine because of all the morphs that are running around. But it stems the bleeding early for aggro, pairing that with the Case of the Burning Mask, and you can really sort of get to your later drops, which I think is great. Pack 3, pick 4. A crime novelist. Are we a crime novelist deck? With Detective Satchels, we don't really have anything else that sacrifices. We got a couple clues here and there. Yeah, I might speculate on the crime novelist because I just don't think this Crime Stopper Sprite is doing us really anything. But if we end up getting like a Harry Dronesmith or something else that sacrifices creatures, like crime novelist could be really, really good in this deck. And so I think mainly just due to power level, I might take the Crime Novelist. Also, a 1/3 blocker is like fine, but a 2/4 blocker is very good. Pack 3, pick 5, Jaded Analyst. I don't think we're really playing this card. I don't think realistically that's what we want. I do think the Gearbang Orangutan would be something we could pick up because it works very well in the idea of sacrificing an artifact like a Thopter, and then we can make a Thopter or 2 with a Detective Satchel, but we get the 2 counters on it. Also, it ends up killing off things like Cryptic Code or something you don't really have a whole lot of plans otherwise. And I also think that like Flotsam Jetsam, like playing 4 blue for something like this on the fuss bother side, like I think this card is a lot better than we might be getting credit for. I would be picking this Flotsam Jetsam here. However, if you wanted to stay in the red, Gearbang and Orangutan is great. Pack 3, pick 6. Very happy with an Eliminate the Impossible. I think a Galvanize would, when I was first starting the format, Galvanize would have been the card I would have picked, but more so I'm interested in this Eliminate the Impossible because it's kind of a trick, which essentially is a removal spell, but then also you get a clue. So I'm very happy with this one. Pack 3, pick 7. I can get behind a Deduce, I suppose. I don't really love a Deduce here. It works well with the Prof's Eidetic Memory, but I kind of think we need more public thoroughfares. Pack 3, pick 8. Nothing for us. We might take this Suspicious Detonation because we're kind of on the sacrifice an artifact plan, and I don't think Benthic Criminologist is ever really making the deck. And there's an outside chance that Suspicious Detonation might make the deck, but we're really nitpicking on this pick. Pack 3, pick 9. Our Detective Satchel wheeled. Let's go. I think that means that we really wanted this Suspicious Detonation instead. But pack 3, pick 9. Detective Satchel, a third one. I'm in. Let's go. A Reasonable Doubt plays particularly well with things like Deduce or Eliminate the Impossible. Behind the Mask, not playing that. Agency Outfitter, we're not playing this. Reiki Schedule, we're not playing that. All right. As we take a look at the deck, I can see that we ended up on this blue-red with a little splash for some Rarish Jeskai. I think it's great. I think we really wanted another Public Thoroughfare or 2. We also would have taken some Escape Tunnels, but we didn't really see too many of those. We would have had to pick them pretty high, and I think higher than we really wanted to. I don't think I love both of these Jaded Analysts in here and both Bubble Smugglers. I think you kind of get to play one card or the other. And I think that we're likely supposed to be playing the Jaded Analyst because of all the clues that we can make. And so early on, they're defenders, they trade, and then eventually, maybe I think there were a couple cards we missed on. That Cold Case Cracker early on over the connecting the dots. I think I would have preferred that in here as well. But all being said, I think this deck looks fine. I think 4-3 kind of feels about right for the expectations with some of these 2-drops in here, as well as like we're playing things like Behind the Mask and Benthic Criminologist. I don't really love these cards very much. Overall, lots of fun. Thank you so much for sending in the file so we could take a look at the draft. I hope you enjoyed it as well. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Witness the Future. If you'd like your deck on a future episode, feel free to send me a link from your 17 lands profile of the deck you'd like on Discord or in email. You, of course, can find that email address in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.